Many years ago, I was kidnapped and brought here by human traffickers. I cried almost all my tears dry, thinking that if I cried loud enough, my parents would come running to get me. But no matter how many times I cried myself unconscious, when I woke up, I was still on this inescapable island far from home. The old man favored me because I was the prettiest. They said only beautiful and obedient children could go home. Xiao Yi pushed open the door to his house, still acting suspiciously. He turned on the light while hugging the wall and only relaxed a bit after confirming there weren't dozens of guns pointed at him. He put away his gun and walked towards the liquor cabinet. Just as he was about to randomly select a bottle, he suddenly tensed up again. Through the mirror, he saw me sitting on the sofa. I held an empty bottle, smiling at him. "I got bored waiting for you, so I drank some of your stock." "Not that at all," I said with a hint of drunkenness. "Do you know why I'm here?" He knew. His hands moved to his lower back, a knife on the left, a gun on the right. Xiao Yi hesitated, wondering if he should continue to play along with me or shoot me in the head. I didn't hesitate. I raised my hand and pulled the trigger. Left shoulder, right hand, just below the earlobe, 3 shots in quick succession. Xiao Yi's body fell back. The sound of flesh hitting the wall was heavy and dull. I stood up, walked towards him, and squatted down, using the still hot muzzle to lift his chin. I didn't hit any vital spots. "You won't die just yet." "I should be grateful the young miss is such a crack shot," Xiao Yi said with a forced smile, sweating profusely. "You hit exactly where you aimed." His eyes were beautiful. I had kept him around because I liked his eyes. I kicked away his gun and confiscated his knife. "The old man sent me to find you. He suspects you're an undercover cop." Xiao Yi, with at least 3 broken ribs from the bullets, spoke with difficulty. "Who fed the old man this lie?" "It's not exactly a lie. A week ago, the old man personally discovered that Uncle Chen, who had been his driver for 11 years, was an undercover cop. Uncle Chen's diligent work and the information he passed on had cost us dearly. The old man was furious and ordered a severe interrogation. Within 3 days, Uncle Chen was unrecognizable. Undercover cops are tough. Despite all the methods used, we never even learned Uncle Chen's real name. On the 7th day of his torture, Uncle Chen died, not from the torture itself, but because someone ended his suffering. This wasn't about silencing someone, it was giving him what he wanted. No one would help an enemy find peace, so there had to be more allies of Uncle Chen among us. The old man suspected Xiao Yi because he had been the one delivering meals to Uncle Chen. Xiao Yi originally worked under me, gathering intelligence. But a few days ago, he made a mistake and I punished him by making him deliver food to the dungeon. I liked this kind of punishment. First, because I enjoyed seeing people fall from grace, and second, because seeing the tortured prisoners served as a warning to others. The old man didn't order my death, did he? Xiao Yi said, still trying to gain some advantage. Otherwise, those 3 shots would have been here. He pointed to his head as he spoke. I scoffed. The old man said it's better to kill the wrong person than to let one go. The one who can't bear to kill you is me. Miss, it's not that you can't bear to kill me. You're just afraid of getting yourself into trouble. He squinted his eyes like a little wolf cub. After all, I work for you. If the old man suspects me, he suspects you. If you kill me, it will look like you're silencing me. If you don't kill me, it might seem like you're protecting an undercover agent. Sorry, miss. We're in this together now. I've made things difficult for you. I almost wanted to applaud his cleverness. If I couldn't find a way to protect myself, I wouldn't have come to you today. With that, I reversed the knife and stabbed it into Xiao Yi's right hand. The pain made him writhe in agony, cold sweat breaking out in layers on his forehead. Tomorrow, I'll report to the old man that I've interrogated you and concluded that you probably didn't kill Uncle Chen. But you're no longer trustworthy, so I'll keep you by my side and monitor you constantly. I pulled out the knife and threw it into the wall. I smiled and asked him, from now on, can you stop causing me trouble? Song Qingshi, who gave you your name? His question seemed out of the blue. I found a bandage in the medical kit and hastily wrapped his injured hand. Xiao Yi waited for my answer. I thought carefully and then replied seriously. Naturally, the old man gave it to me. He snorted. That name doesn't sound like it belongs to a crime syndicate's young mistress. It sounds more like a well-educated young lady from a noble family. I looked at him coldly. Who gave you the guts to mock me? No mockery, I just think you deserve a name that sounds better, he said. Then, using his uninjured left hand, he grabbed my collar and kissed me on the lips. I'm not a good person. My hands are stained with countless lives. I have a serene and elegant name, but I know people secretly call me a lunatic. But what these people don't know is that their lunatic young mistress, who commits murder, arson, and all sorts of crimes, is completely inexperienced when it comes to matters of the heart. This was my first kiss in the truest sense. It was clear, enticing, with a hint of blood. I pushed him away and raised an eyebrow. Is this a seduction tactic? It doesn't matter what tactic I use. What matters is whether you're willing to fall for it, he said with a smile despite his injuries. Either way, I must thank you for saving me. I used my blood-stained hand to touch his face. Then I'll take it as you just repaying me. He seemed surprised by my words and didn't know what to say. I held his face, forcing him to look at me. Do you know? I really like your eyes. Xiao Yi bilinkit kooperativali. If it weren't for these eyes, the first time we met, I would have thrown you into the sea to feed the sharks, I added. The old man's surname is Song, though no one knows his full name. In this prison-like place, he's akin to a local emperor. Song is equivalent to a royal surname. The old man had no biological children but had 8 adopted ones who were given the surname Song. In our line of work, lives are often not in our own hands. The old man's adopted children are always 8 in number. When one dies, a new one takes their place. People may change, but this number, 8, remains constant. The old man is superstitious, believing this number to be lucky. It's rare for someone to become the old man's adopted daughter, and I'm the only one alive. For this reason, there are many young masters, but I'm the only young mistress. I brought Xiao Yi to a banquet, and my third brother was also there. Who is he asked. A newly adopted puppy. Xiao Yi, ever cooperative, let out a woof. He's always been obedient. The reason I punished him recently was because I overheard him and Ahao gossiping about me. Xiao Yi said, I don't have many big ambitions. If I save enough money to marry the young mistress, my life will be worthwhile. These unruly pups love to talk about me behind my back. I didn't like those words, so I punished him by sending him to deliver food to the dungeon. My third brother looked Xiao Yi up and down for a long time. To protect him, you've suffered quite a bit from the old man, haven't you? To protect Xiao Yi and to protect myself. That day, I knelt at the old man's feet, massaging his legs like a servant. His mind is capable of great things. It would be a waste to kill him without evidence. I'll keep him with me to monitor him. If he's innocent, he could become a valuable asset for father. If he's an undercover agent, watching him closely will help uncover more useful information. The old man crooked his finger, and I inched closer on my knees. Uncle Chen stayed with me for 11 years. The information he sent out cost us countless opportunities. But it doesn't matter. The Song family isn't something that can be easily dismantled by 1 or 2 undercover agents. His rough fingers slowly stroked my chin, over and over again. I didn't like his touch because he carried the stench of death. Qingshi, you've grown up. I want you to grow up, yet I don't want you to grow up. Do you understand? I understood the old man's intentions. Otherwise, I wouldn't have become his only adopted daughter. My third brother whispered in my ear, Qingshi, the old man is getting old. You should find a new support. Like you, third brother? He smiled. It would be an honor. Xiao Yi moved closer, extending his arm to block my third brother who is getting too close. Our young mistress doesn't need to rely on anyone, Xiao Yi said through gritted teeth, lifting his chin. But we all need to rely on her. My third brother sneered, seemingly disappointed, and turned to leave. The banquet continued. Today's banquet was Miss Li's birthday party. We shared a fragile camaraderie with the Li family in this den of snakes. Leon didn't like me much, but I didn't need to dislike her. I came to the Li family to foster a superficial relationship with her father. As for Leon, she was just a high-end toy. Although she bore the Li surname, her mother wasn't Mr. Li's legitimate wife. She became Miss Li mainly because of her pretty face. Calling it a birthday party is just a cover for an auction, I said to Xiao Yi, analyzing the situation as I held my wine glass. See those men on the second floor? They are the bidders. They were eyeing the Li family's girls. The most expensive one was Leon. Since she was 16, her birthday parties had been grand events every year. Rather than celebrating her birthday, it was more of a trial for her. No one could hate Li Wanchun more than she does, I laughed. If you gave her a knife, she'd probably gut her father herself. Xiao Yi frowned. Can a child truly hate their own father so much? I chuckled. Do you know why Leon dislikes me? Please enlighten me, young mistress. Because I willingly became Mr. Song's blade. Someone approached me for a chat. Smiling, I walked over with my glass. Xiao Yi stayed behind, and I guessed he understood my implication. Leon wasn't willing to remain Li Wanchun's puppet forever. Later, someone reported to me that during the latter half of the banquet, Xiao Yi and Leon were seen flirting in a secluded spot. My third brother is dead. They say he was ambushed by the cops during a deal. When I lifted the white sheet, I saw his body riddled with bullets, looking like a sieve. My third brother and I had a decent relationship. When he was short on manpower for his business trips, I lent him a few of my sharpest guys. Among them was my scout, who had come to me earlier to report that Xiao Yi was fooling around with Leon. Who did this? I asked my fifth brother. Third brother's operations were always well hidden. How did he end up in an ambush? Fifth brother sighed. They say it was the cops, but from the way it was done, it seems more like the Li family. The room fell silent. Xiao Yi stood behind me, not saying a word. Moments later, the old man arrived. Looking at his adopted son's corpse, his eyes showed little sorrow. He said, "Investigate. I want to know if a cat came to catch the mouse, or if another rat stole from us." I was put in charge of the investigation. Although I was the old man's adopted daughter, I hadn't been given significant responsibilities until recently. Before, I handled simple tasks like murder and robbery. It wasn't until I saved his life last year that I began managing the Song family's intelligence network. Now, there's nothing on this island that escapes my notice. Young mistress, who do you think did this? Xiao Yi asked. I replied, who do you think? I'm just the young mistress's dog. What opinions could a dog have? He leaned back, nonchalant. A dog only wants to gnaw on the bones left by its master. With no one around, I tilted my head and asked him, I heard Leon likes you quite a bit? Seems like she does, he admitted with a grin, but my heart and my loyalty belong only to you, young mistress. If you don't like it, I promise never to see her again. I grabbed his still healing right hand, gradually increasing the pressure. Yes, I don't like it. If you do interact with her, make sure I don't find out. I knew he was in pain, but he remained silent. I found Xiao Yi 3 years ago by the canal. He must have been starving because he tried to steal my wallet. Ah Hao and the others caught this fearless thief and gave him a thorough beating. Xiao Yi didn't utter a sound, so I thought he might be mute. Out of pity for what I assumed was a disabled person, I ordered them to stop. Xiao Yi sat up and looked at me coldly. Despite his dirty and gaunt appearance, his eyes were strikingly beautiful, which made me inclined to spare him. Ahao handed me my wallet, and I pulled out the money, throwing it all to Xiao Yi. If you want to survive, you need to open your eyes, I warned him. Next time you see someone with the surname Song around here, steer clear. As I turned to leave, he suddenly lunged forward, clinging to my leg. My followers, seeing this unprecedented scene, immediately drew their weapons. Before they could tear him apart, Xiao Yi quickly spoke up. You said if a person wants to survive, they need to open their eyes. I've opened mine, and I choose you. Take me in. He appeared suddenly and suspiciously, but I insisted on taking him in. He worked under me for 3 years. Despite my title as the young mistress, I had little real power and naturally, he had few opportunities to rise. He wasn't particularly ambitious, and his thoughts were hard to read. Sometimes, his schemes were exceptionally vicious, but when it came to actually killing someone, he would start retching uncontrollably. I often had to clean up his messes. He would jokingly offer his gratitude. "I'm willing to dedicate myself to you, young mistress." I kicked him so hard that he ended up in the hospital for 3 days. Since last year, I've gained real power and naturally, the brothers under my command have started to feel more confident. Xiao Yi is no longer just a pretty face. According to Ahao and the others, he's become much more confident in gathering intelligence and handling drug shipments. Ahao doesn't like him much. What can a pretty boy like that achieve? After causing such a huge mess, why would the young mistress risk her life to save him? I replied, "I like his eyes. Despite being the same age as me, his eyes are much purer than mine." I squeezed the wound on Xiaoyi's palm until it started bleeding again. He didn't cry out or resist. "Do you hate me?" I asked him. "I don't even have enough time to love you. How could I hate you?" He gritted his teeth. "Whether you love or hate me, you need to remember this pain so you don't take my words lightly," I whispered. "One careless mistake, and you'll die. Not even I can save you then." Fifth brother arrived. With a cheerful grin, he called out, "Qingshi, training your dog again?" I released Xiao Yi and turned to face fifth brother. I call him fifth brother, the underlings call him fifth brother, and the higher-ups call him Lao Wu. Over time, no one remembered his real name. Not just him, but in others' eyes, I must be the same. My 22nd birthday wish was for everyone to remember my name. Fifth brother said he would help me. It wasn't really helping, it was more of an alignment of our goals. But he must have misunderstood me. Fifth brother thought I wanted more power, to outlive the old man and kill the other brothers so that everyone would respect the name Song Qingshi in the future. These were also his ambitions, so he wanted to join forces with me, planning to deal with the others first and then take care of me. He was overly confident, so when I took him to the old man to report, he was still in disbelief. Third brother was always careful. If it weren't for a traitor among us, whether it was the cops or the Li family, the damage wouldn't have been so severe. According to my investigation, fifth brother had numerous intimate dealings with the Li family before third brother's accident. Fifth brother struggled, trying to lunge at me. "Song Qingshi, how dare you set me up?" "What setup? This was the path you chose yourself." I stood firmly by the old man's side. "Father gave you a life. You should repay his kindness." The evidence was irrefutable, and fifth brother couldn't deny it. He suddenly went mad, laughing maniacally. "Repay his kindness? What kindness did he give me? He just treated me like a dog. I want to climb to the top. I want to kill him. When I take over this place, the first thing I'll do is chop up his old bones and feed them to the dogs." After he finished speaking, he shook off the underlings beside him and grabbed a dagger, aiming to stab the old man. Fifth brother was skilled, and the bodyguards around the old man were quickly overpowered by him. Just as the old man was about to be killed, Xiao Yi suddenly lunged forward and stopped him. Xiao Yi got stabbed, but held onto fifth brother's leg tightly. I seized the moment and sent a bullet through fifth brother's head. He should thank me for dying so swiftly. If he had been captured alive, he would have faced torture beyond imagination, depending on the old man's mood. "Are you Xiao Yi?" The old man looked at Xiao Yi, then turned to me. "Very good. Both of you, very good." Xiao Yi's injuries had layers upon layers. Eventually, he couldn't hold on and had to stay in the hospital for a few days. Li Yuan came to see him, and as luck would have it, she ran into me. She glared at me and I shrugged. "So angry? Could it be that Miss Li has really fallen for my dog?" "He's a person," Li Yuan snarled. "Compared to him, you're more like a dog." I didn't deny it. Li Yuan went into the room. I didn't join them. Ahao handed me a cigarette, and I stood under a no smoking sign, puffing away. With third brother and fifth brother both gone, the old man hadn't immediately replaced them. It seemed like the number of people he trusted was dwindling. After Li Yayuan left, I entered the ward. I asked Xiao Yi, who was lying on the bed, unable to move, "Want a cigarette?" He shook his head. "Want a drink?" "I'd like to, but the doctor won't allow it." "You listen to the doctor. Why don't you listen to me?" I blew smoke into his face. "Your relationship with Li Yayuan seems to be progressing quickly." Xiao Yi smiled, looking like a scoundrel. "Miss Li likes me. It's beyond my control. She wouldn't easily fall for anyone." I tilted my head, looking down at him. "I'm curious what hidden qualities you have that Li Yayuan noticed before I did." Ahao came in, looking grave and constipated. I tossed the cigarette, but into the trash. "Speak freely." "I trust Xiao Yi. No need to be cautious. There's trouble with second brother. He was caught by the cops." "Another traitor?" I frowned. Catching fifth brother wasn't enough? Ahao cautiously said, "It might not be a traitor." Second brother's operations were always in collaboration with the Li family. I turned to look at him. Does the old man suspect the Li family? Ahao fell silent. It didn't really matter if the old man suspected the Li family or not. What mattered was that he had long wanted to eliminate them. But any action had to be justified. No matter how dirty the deed, it had to appear legitimate. Regardless of the actual cause of second brother's capture, the Li family would inevitably take the blame. I glanced at Xiao Yi lying in bed and smiled. "I'm leaving now. Take care." He shifted slightly. "When will the young mistress visit me again?" "When I'm in a good mood, I'll come." I left with Ahao, noticing Xiao Yi's longing gaze as I closed the door. I asked Ahao, "Did the old man give any other instructions?" "We need to ensure second brother keeps his mouth shut. Killing someone on the cops' turf is tricky." I opened my cigarette box, only 5 left. With second brother, third brother, and fifth brother gone, who knows when it'll be my turn. Ahao, if I die, will anyone mourn for me? Ahao trembled. The young mistress will live a long life. Why talk about death? I went to see Xiao Yi. He was reading a book, a well-worn copy of Dream of the Red Chamber. I smiled and asked, "Didn't take you for a book lover." "I just think some of the lines in here make a lot of sense." He turned the book upside down to show me. It was the chapter where the Grand View Garden was being raided. Tan Chun said, "For a family like ours, destruction from external forces is not immediate. As the saying goes, the centipede dies but never falls down. It must start self-destructing from within before it collapses completely." I didn't offer any commentary, just lazily sat down by the bed. Xiao Yi looked at me and, out of the blue, asked, "If you could leave, is there somewhere you'd want to go or something you'd want to do?" "Probably find my biological parents," I said, sitting on the edge of his bed. "And the boy who lived next door when I was a kid." He sounded a bit jealous. "Childhood sweetheart." "We were separated so early. What kind of childhood sweethearts are we?" I scoffed, then asked Xiao Yi, "Want a drink?" "Sure, but the doctor still won't allow it." He sat up, looking quite spirited. "I heard the Li family is finished." "Yeah, they're done for." The old man set up a feast, but the Li family got wind of it in advance. They took down 1,000 enemies, but lost 800 of their own. It seems the Song family is doomed too. I perched at the edge of his bed, a cigarette dangling from my lips. Big brother accidentally got shot. Sixth brother is now a cripple. The old man wants to adopt more sons and daughters to fill the gaps, but he's not sure where to find them. He didn't follow up on my topic. A young mistress's smoking habit has gotten worse lately. Is everything going as you planned? Xiao Yi reached over, took the cigarette from my lips, and put it in his own mouth. He inhaled and exhaled smoke skillfully, his manner teasing. "I don't understand what you're talking about." But he did understand. This matter seemed unrelated to him, yet his presence was everywhere. For instance, it was Li Yayuan who gave the police the route for second brother's operations, and she had been in close contact with Xiao Yi recently. I had repeatedly warned Xiao Yi to be careful, and he seemed to have heeded those warnings, as he had hidden himself well. Few knew of this, and those who might have known had died in the recent chaos. When two sides fight, the third party benefits. No other drug den could profit from the conflict between the Song and Li families, so it was highly likely that Xiao Yi was with the police. I should have killed him. But instead of tearing into him, I peeled an apple for him. The old man needs a trustworthy adopted son. You saved his life, so you qualify to bear the Song name. I handed him the apple. You should cherish this opportunity, right? Xiao Yi shook his head. I don't want it to be a Song. Why not? Because I don't want to be your brother. He leaned close to me. I wanted to be your man. This time, I kissed him. It tasted like cigarettes. Our moment was interrupted by Ahao. He barged in, froze at the sight, unsure whether to advance or retreat. I pushed Xiao Yi away, my expression unchanging as I looked at Ahao. What happened now? Ahao coughed awkwardly and got to the point. It's not a big deal. Some new goods arrived at the dock, and fourth brother wants you to take a look. What goods? You'll know when you see them. Ahao's face didn't look good. Living a life in a den of vice, one never knows what will happen the next day, but I had a few trusted people around me. Ahao, for instance, wouldn't necessarily die for me, but he knew my limits. Seeing his expression, I had a hunch about what to expect. At the dock, in a newly arrived ship, I saw the goods that hadn't been unloaded, a group of 6 or 7-year-old girls, all dirty and grimy. The old man's been in a bad mood lately. Fourth brother smiled at me. We need to pick a favorite for him. I said nothing. Fourth brother continued, You know the old man's taste better than I do. This job is best left to you. A bunch of little girls who haven't even grown up yet. What good can I pick out of them? I showed no emotion and gave fourth brother a cold look. It's so boring that you specifically came to find me for this. He leaned close, whispering with a laugh. Our dear Qing sure has a poor memory. Fourth brother is helping you relive your childhood memories. I stood frozen, unmoving. Ahao noticed my discomfort, but didn't dare to approach and do anything to fourth brother. Xiao Yi suddenly appeared. He must have been following me closely, noticing my unusual expression, and suddenly rushed out, striking fourth brother on the back with a wooden rod like a mop handle. Fourth brother staggered, and before he could pounce on me, Xiao Yi pulled me into his arms. He protected me as an ordinary man would protect his girlfriend. Thinking of this normal relationship, I couldn't help but start laughing. Fourth brother glared at Xiao Yi viciously, then sneered at me. Can't you find a leash for your unruly dog? Are you suggesting I leash you, fourth brother? I disliked his sarcastic tone, but this was the first time I had openly confronted him. My 7 brothers each had their strengths and weaknesses. For instance, third brother was straightforward, fifth brother power-hungry. I had never figured out fourth brother's preferences, so I had always been particularly polite to him. He probably couldn't figure me out either, so he didn't react aggressively. Fourth brother left, leaving a cold smile. I knew he couldn't be left alive. Either I kill him, or he kills me. Xiao Yi looked at the ship's hold, which was filled with cages containing little girls, dazed and confused. He frowned, his face darkening. What's going on here? What's there to be surprised about? You didn't think we only dealt in drugs, did you? I looked at Xiao Yi, lazily explaining the situation. Sex, gambling, and drugs have always gone hand in hand. Once you're involved in one, the others aren't far behind. You've been on the island for years. You must have seen some of the surface filth. But have you ever wondered where the girls in the sex trade come from? He didn't answer. Clearly he hadn't. Volunteers? They exist, but they're a minority. Most of these girls were either sold by their families or kidnapped by traffickers. I opened a cage and pulled out a little girl. The traffickers had drugged her heavily. I shook her for a while but couldn't wake her. I sighed and continued. This island may seem filthy, but some people see it as paradise. Because with enough money, the Song family can provide anything. Specifically, in the sex trade, if someone wants women with all kinds of charms, we have them. Some people have peculiar tastes and seek special services, and we can provide those too. Just like these, in the mainland, it's illegal, but here, you can have as many as you want. Xiao Yi knew some of this, but not in detail. For instance, he might have guessed what he'd see following me, but the reality still filled him with anger and disgust. I kept talking, pushing him further. The physical and psychological damage from such experiences is severe. Most of these children won't survive to adulthood. They either die from illness or go mad and get thrown into the sea to feed the fish. A few who survive are often so damaged that they can't make money for the old man anymore and end up being sold to the lowest brothels. They don't live long and die soon. Those who make it through all this have the best outcome, becoming like me. I stood up, turning to meet Xiao Yi's eyes. To be precise, not exactly like me. In decades, I'm the only one who's fought for a position and succeeded. He rushed to my side, holding me tightly. Let's leave. I'll take you away from this hellhole. I pushed him away, signaling him to be quiet. Xiao Yi, if I were trying to trap you, you'd already be dead. The island was never meant to take in so many abducted children. Although there were many visitors, not many of them were such perverts. But the old man liked it. Seeing these young girls makes me feel young again, the old man said, caressing the face of a girl in front of him. His wrinkled face broke into a wide smile. Qingshi, when you first came, you were just as charming as they are now. How long ago was that? 15 years ago. I replied, my face showing no emotion. 15 years ago, I was 7, and I was kidnapped here while buying sugar figurines. Back then, I cried until I felt like I had no more tears left. I thought if I cried loud enough, my parents would come running to comfort me, buy me sweets and toys. But no matter how many times I cried until I fainted, when I woke up, I was still on this inescapable offshore island. The old man doted on me because I was the prettiest. I submitted to my fate, following the rules, enduring the hardships. I heard that by the time I turned 12, I could go home. But when I turned 12, I didn't leave. Younger children were kidnapped one after another. By the time I was 15, the old man finally grew tired of me. I knelt at his feet, expressing loyalty and affection in the most humble manner. Because I had seen the so-called homebound children, their deaths were like rotting cabbages. I wanted to survive. The old man was pleased by my performance and gave me a chance. I learned to kill, to set fires, to traffic drugs and gamble. I was given the surname Song and the name Qingshi. It seemed like I really survived. The old man waved me over, and I hurriedly crawled to him on my knees. He caressed my cheek and said calmly, "These girls, after all, aren't as pleasing to me as you were back then. You flatter me, foster father." Before I could finish speaking, someone burst in from outside. "Old master, something's happened." Fourth brother's boat, it suddenly exploded. The old man was silent for a long time. He turned to look down at me. "Was it you?" Qingshi doesn't understand what foster father means. I have 8 children, and now only you and the 7th, who has been away, remain. Qingshi, I am not a fool. If foster father has doubts, he can take my life directly. Unfortunately, he couldn't kill me now. I had been meticulously planning for today. When I saved him, I truly risked my life. The blade was only half an inch away from my heart, but I still blocked it. Xiao Yi's sacrifice that day didn't show as much loyalty as I did back then. So I gained control of the intelligence network, the power I had always dreamed of. After all, to know the enemy and know yourself is to win 100 battles. My plan began when I completely controlled the intelligence network. At first, I hinted to 5th brother that he could kill 3rd brother. The reason for targeting 3rd brother was partly because he was stupid and partly because he offended me at Li Yinyuan's birthday party. 5th brother, eager for power, secretly revealed this to the Li family, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Later, under my hint, Xiao Yi learned about the grudge between Li Yinyuan and the Li family. That scheme eliminated eldest brother, 2nd brother, and 6th brother. The old man began to suspect me, but without evidence or reliable people, he could only hold back for the time being. After tearing into 4th brother yesterday, I simply placed explosives on his boat. After all, this game was nearing its end, and there was no need to beat around the bush. He looked at me coldly. "Can I still kill you now?" "Foster father can try." He didn't move or say anything. I led the little girls out and instructed Aha before leaving, "Take good care of the old master. His health is poor, so don't let anyone disturb him and make sure he doesn't hurt himself." The sunlight outside was just right. Seeing Xiao Yi waiting for me, I suddenly smiled. "Are you happy now that it's done?" Xiao Yi asked me. "Yes, happy." I smiled. The task that fifth brother couldn't complete, I did it. I lay on the bed with Xiao Yi. Our relationship progressed too quickly. Aha felt it was inappropriate and had once tried to subtly advise me. "Nothing's wrong with it. It's called seizing the moment." I said this to Aha while smoking a cigarette after sex. The old man was confined, and I became the head of the island, busier than ever. Besides sending those children home, there were many shady matters I entrusted to those I trusted, like Aha and Xiao Yi. Xiao Yi asked me, "Didn't you think I was a cop?" "Even if you're a cop, you can't go back. You've got too much blood on your hands. Are you waiting to be locked up when you go back?" Actually, when Uncle Chun was arrested, I suspected Xiao Yi was a cop. What he said to Aha was meant for me to hear because he guessed I would punish him by sending him to prison. I knew it was deliberate, so I went along with it. I couldn't do anything at that time, but I hoped Uncle Chun would survive. Later, Uncle Chun was relieved, which was probably the best ending for him. Xiao Yi snatched the cigarette from my mouth again. As the sun set, I watched him puff out smoke, suddenly feeling that this life hadn't been so bad after all. That was the last time Xiao Yi and I watched the sunset together. That night, seventh brother came back with his men to kill. In the midst of the battle, I received a call from seventh brother while in my residence. "Long time no see. Eighth sister has really come a long way. Can I ask why you're so loyal to him?" I twirled the phone cord, chatting amiably with him. I thought all of us wanted him dead. Seventh brother sneered. "I do want him dead, but he is my biological father after all. That old bastard likes girls under 12 who don't know any better. He can't even get it up for adult women. How could he have biological children?" "He does. I am one of them." He didn't want to discuss his background any further and shifted the topic to me. "The old man really is senile, actually believing you were loyal to him. A girl who did anything to survive at 15, how could she be loyal to anyone?" I sighed, feeling melancholic. It's been hard for me to survive too. I can't even say what's kept me going all these years. Gunfire roared, casualties were heavy. On my side were the loyal thugs of the island. On his side were the greedy traitors with a common goal. Both sides were evenly matched. Today's battle was destined to have a fatal outcome. Just as the clam and the snipe were exhausted from fighting, more explosions erupted nearby. My fourth brother, who hadn't been killed by the explosion, descended from the sky in a police uniform, leading his comrades and easily taking control of the entire island. He should thank me. Without me, he couldn't have captured these people in one fell swoop. What kept me going until today? It was hatred. I wanted revenge. I didn't want the old man's power or money. I just wanted his century-old foundation to be destroyed. I wanted him to live in agony, unable to die or live. The reason I kept him alive was to send a message, to lure seventh brother and those traitors back. Today, no one on this island, including me, who had blood and drugs on their hands, could leave alive, except for Xiao Yi. In the midst of the gunfire, I couldn't find Xiao Yi. I think I know where he went. I ran all the way, dodging and dashing towards the villa where the old man was being held captive. Xiao Yi had already used a knife to cut off 2 of the old man's fingers. He's 78 years old. He can't withstand this kind of torture. Will you take his life? I shouted loudly. If you kill him, can you still go back? Xiao Yi chuckled. You've always thought I was a cop? Actually, I'm not. I'm just a son who wants to take his father home. Father. My name is Chindi. Chen Shu. Yes, I'm an undercover cop's son. He turned to look at me, laughing almost hysterically. My mother is sick, and I want to take my father home. But he said after finally gaining the old man's trust, leaving now would only undo everything. If he doesn't leave, then I'll stay here with him. I intentionally stole your wallet. I bet you would be interested in me. Later, When he was exposed, I couldn't save him. I put a blade in his meal, and he had the blade in his mouth. When mealtime passed, he swallowed the blade and committed suicide. They smashed his kneecaps, injected him with truth serum. He was electrocuted until he lost control of his bladder and bowels. I had no choice but to kill him. He was in such a state that living was worse than dying. He kept begging me to kill him. He'll surely die, but he shouldn't die by your hand. Your father's colleagues are here. Hand the old man over to them, and you can go back with them cleanly, all right? I stepped forward, trying to persuade him. He chuckled coldly. Where am I still clean? I ran over and hugged him. I said, let me tell you a story. When I was a kid, I was very naughty and didn't like playing house with girls. At that time, there was a neighbor's older brother who would take me to play with the wooden swords and guns his father made for him. Others said he didn't have a dad, but he secretly told me that his dad was a policeman. He had a pair of eyes that were especially nice, which fascinated me. I thought I would never see him again. He smiled. So, I didn't get it wrong. It's really you. For brother led his men into the villa, presumably after everything outside had been thoroughly cleaned up. He had hidden too well all these years. I often felt that he was the most terrifying among my 7 brothers. Now, it seemed I was right. He knew about my past, so he deliberately provoked me, set up a fake death, and left. He looked at Xiao Yi. Oh, I should call him Chindi. Stay calm. Leave the follow-up matters to us. It turned out they had long been in cahoots, so all the layout changes I had disclosed to Chindi in recent days, he knew them all too. I always thought Xiao Yi was the one from the police. So, I saved his life in front of the old man, telling him the news about the discord between Li Yuan and the Li family. I showed interest in him, and he naturally used his charm on me. I don't know how genuine or fake his acting was towards me, but I had developed genuine feelings for him. Fortunately, although I guessed wrong about him, things still developed in the direction I expected. I held Chindi's hand, urging him to stay calm. I led him, step by step, towards the police. I told Chindi, when you get back, smoke and drink less, forget about me. The reason I stopped you just now is actually because I wanted to take revenge personally. After saying that, I raised my right hand, and a bullet ended the life of that old scoundrel who had ruined my life. He didn't even get a chance to say his last words before he died. He must have regretted leaving me alive back then. I turned around and aimed the gun at brother. I smiled at him, and he instantly understood what I was about to do. He shouted loudly, "Don't shoot," but the bullet had already pierced through my heart. Chandi came to his senses and caught my falling body. In the end, I still deceived him. I didn't want to take revenge personally. I really wanted him to go back and start his new life. But I, covered in blood, stained with countless lives, could never go back. Oh, by the way, my name is Jiyin. Doesn't it sound more like a proper young lady than Song Qingshi? Epilogue. Chandi went to visit his parents' graves. Since his father's body couldn't be brought back, he used his father's police uniform to make a mock burial mound. Later, he returned to his hometown, to the house where he had lived as a child. Times had changed, and besides the small grocery store that had been open for over 20 years, there was nothing left of the past. Su Zhenyu, also known as fourth brother, stood behind him with a cigarette in his mouth. What are your plans for the future? I'm going to find Ye Yin's parents. And what will you do once you find them? I don't know. Chandi asked Su Zhenyu for a cigarette. I'll figure it out once I find them.